Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
And away we go.
We like that.
You like that?
I just said that we liked it.
You like that?
Yes, we like football. We like National Football League football. And we also like these discussions all week long on the show about what should they do? Do you want them to win? Do you not want them to win this game on Sunday? We had some good spirited discussion on Feedback Friday. If you haven't heard that episode yet, here, Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. They're 1-4 here, so it's unlikely at this point. But we're going to go through all the information you need to know about this game against the Bears, and we'll make our picks toward the end of the episode here. But Judd, before we get started, let's tell the audience about our friends in your neighborhood, Park Tavern. Look at you rocking the Park Tavern swag here today.
Park Tavern is the official sports bar of Sports Dad, which is in and of itself incredibly important. But I'm going to tell you right now, look at that. There's some bowling at Park Tavern. Park Tavern has it all. Located, as Phil just said, in my neck of the woods, St. Louis Park off of Louisiana Avenue South. Park Tavern has bowling. Park Tavern has a great selection of beers on tap and bottle. Park Tavern has great food, and Park Tavern has an enormous space. And guess what that means? That means if you have a party to throw, if you have an anniversary, birthday party, whatever it is, and I'm talking a big one. I'm not talking 20 people and friends. You know what? 20 folks, Park Tavern can take that as a walk-in. I'm talking about a huge collection. All you have to do is contact my friends at Park Tavern, and they are going to set you up in a special space. They're going to take care of you. ParkTavern.net. ParkTavern.net has a form online that you can fill out easily and get your group together and have a great time, or just stop by to watch a game and grab a beer. Park Tavern, St. Louis Park.
All right, boys, let's dive into the particulars here. Purple Daily presented by Quick Trip. Let's start with Declan. What are you most confident in on the Viking side of things for this game against the Bears?
The Vikings offense against a really bad Bears defense. They're 30th in points. They're 29th in yards. The Bears defense is not very good. I'm confident the Vikings, even without Justin Jefferson, are going to have a pretty easy time moving the football against Chicago. So I'm very confident in the Vikings offense just marching down the field for hopefully the first time consistently and not fumbling the GD ball on the first drive. That is my thing I'm most confident in.
Oh, my God. Are you confident they won't fumble on the first drive? Do we have
prop
odds for that somewhere?
I am confident. They will not fumble
take a
on the
knee.
first
Just
drive.
take a knee on the first play to avoid fumbling. Maybe that's the strategy.
I'm most confident that much like the Carolina game, like the Vikings. So the Vikings are certainly not a great team, and they might not be that good of a team right now. But like with the Carolina game, they are not in that bottom feeder sort of. And the Bears offensively, I know that in the last two games have shown improvement. But yes, I'm confident that the Vikings will look competent enough to win this game. By a lot, probably not. But I do think that when they play teams like the Panthers and Bears, you are going to see a team that definitely doesn't belong in the same breath as that group.
Yeah. You know, I think the thing I'm probably the most confident in is I do think Brian Flores has a chance to fluster Justin Fields with blitzing. They're probably going to blitz the hell out of him this season. I think just looking at the metrics here on PFF, yeah, Fields is one of the top 10 most blitzed quarterbacks in the league. Defensive coordinators are saying, let's just throw everything at him. He still can't process defenses, and now, of course, he can use his legs and burn you that way. But the Vikings have some pretty fast players. They could easily assign Ivan Pace or somebody, Josh Metellus, to being kind of a spy. So I would say I'm confident about flustering Justin Fields a little bit. I'm also confident, and this is more just anecdotal, I think they're going to rally a little bit this week. I don't think the Justin Jefferson injury like derails the locker room, at least yet. You know, now if they start losing a few games,
I'm with you.
There could be like an Undertaker sitting up moment here where they all rally together and here we go, and then maybe reality hits them in the face against San Francisco in a week. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident that the KOC has not lost the locker room because of a 1-4 record and a Justin Jefferson injury. Flip side, what are you most scared or nervous about on behalf of the Vikings? Start with Declan.
I would just say the Bears being well rested. I mean, they're got 10 days here. They haven't played since last Thursday Night Football against Washington. I know their offense has, quote unquote, gotten back on track. They've put up 40 and 28 points respectively in their last 2 games. But just them being well rested and them coming out with a good enough game plan here. And we all mocked that. Everyone was kind of laughing at them after the first 3 games. But hey, you still scored 40 and 28 points the last 2. And now you have 10 days rest due to kind of prepare for a Vikings team that's also reeling a little bit. I guess I would fear the Bears having a better game plan going into this game than what the Vikings have.
I fear the big momentum. I fear that the Bears in their first game since Dick Butkus passed away, there's going to be plenty of passion. There's going to be plenty of momentum potentially here. Justin Fields has started to play better. So, but I do fear that the Bears, there's going to be very few games probably throughout the course of the 2023 campaign that the Bears can sort of consider their own little Super Bowls. And because of the circumstances of this one, this might be it. So I fear that more than I fear any like single part of Chicago.
Yeah, I know the Bears absolutely just tripped all over themselves out of the gate to start the year, and then their defensive coordinator had a big weird situation, and he's gone. Like, it was just an embarrassment first few weeks. But they've got something going here a little bit. They were expected to maybe compete for a playoff spot. They know that. They feel that. So yeah, I think the Bears maybe being on the rise a little bit, and the Vikings, at least at this point, coming down from where they were last year. Another thing, too, I saw this when I was digging through, what some of the sharps are saying about this game, which we'll get to. In their last 23 meetings at Soldier Field between these two teams, 21 out of the 23 times, the Bears have either won outright or lost by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
So in 21 of the 23 games, the Vikings either lose at Chicago or are fighting tooth and nail in a 1, 2, or 3 point game. So that's probably what's going to happen, right? However they get there.
They've won three in a row there. Is that right? The Vikings.
Is it 3 in a row? It's at least 2 in a row.
2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah.
0,
Which
1,
is
and
rare.
2. They've won the last 3 times there.
Okay.
But yes, it probably won't be tight. You're probably right.
What are the sharps saying about this game? Let's go to actionnetwork.com here. So the Vikings are 3-point favorites going into this game across most sports books. 54% of bets are on the Vikings. 61% of money is on the Vikings. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Teams are 24-13 straight up the week after facing the Chiefs over the last 3 seasons. That's like the opposite of facing the Niners. You face the Chiefs and then you're good to go. You win the next week, 24-13 straight up. A lot has been made of the Broncos' defense being bad, but Minnesota's defense has been really bad too. Opponent completion percentage, 76% opponent completion percentage, which is the 4th highest through 5 games in the Super Bowl era.
Oh my God,
dude,
that's an interesting stat.
Yeah. The Vikings have 1 interception, which is tied for the fewest in the NFL through the first handful of games. Only 29 pressures on opposing quarterbacks, which is the 4th fewest in the NFL. In his NFL career, Kirk Cousins is 38-25 against the spread after a straight-up loss, so he usually comes back after a straight-up loss, which is the 5th most profitable quarterback over that stretch, 20-year stretch. The Vikings are not a good team, but Cousins has historically struggled himself against bad teams. He's 11-20 against the spread against teams with a winning percentage of 33% or less. We've seen some of these in action, right?
Haters.
That mark is the 2nd worst out of 225 quarterbacks over the last 20 years. Can you name the only quarterback that's worst against the spread against the worst teams in the NFL? Over the last 20 years? He's a current quarterback. He's a current active starting quarterback.
Hold on. Over the last 20 years.
Declan loves this guy, too.
Yep. Oh, I love this guy?
Mm-hmm. Big time. You'd swap him for Kirk in a heartbeat. And I'm not talking about Mahomes.
And it's not Drew Lock.
It's not Drew Lock.
Yeah, what's slappy? I mean, you do like slappy quarterbacks, so
I do love my bad QBs.
Yeah.
God, who is this?
This guy's just a leader. Who
is it?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr! Oh! AFC Kirk. Well, now NFC South Kirk. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Bears have won their first game 9 days ago, in 347 days when they beat the Commanders.
Wow.
Chicago now returns home and hopes to break another losing streak, which is that they've lost 9 consecutive home games. The last win at Soldier Field was on September 25th, 2022. Wow. Against the Texans. Whoa. So a lot of forces here. Before we make our official picks, let's shout out our friends who make watching football even more fun on the weekends. Underdog Fantasy, Declan.
That's right. Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. You know, if you're still on the fence, if you still haven't joined in on the fun, well, we have a customer offer for you. Number one, you'll get a $100 deposit match when you use the promo code SCORE, SKOR, when you sign up in the deposit slip. Also, you'll get a free mystery pick'em special, which basically almost guarantees, right? Unless there's some catastrophic event of 0.5 total yards, you're going to have your first pick'em just hit right away for you. It'll be a mystery pick'em special. So if you haven't done so, sign up. And if you have, and you're seeing those winning slips come in, I love showing them every Monday, every Tuesday or so on Purple Daily. If you have those winning slips, send us those slips. Tweet them at me at Dex Tweets. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for powering programming on Purple Daily.
Amen. All right, boys. So here's the standing so far this year. Picking straight up these Vikings games, you guys are both 3-2 on the season. I can't find my way around the room here at all. I'm 1-4 picking Vikings games straight up.
You're on the street right now, dude.
No.
Like you've lost everything.
Against the spread, we're all losing
Maya left
here.
you?
No, Maya's right here. She's waiting for her.
She's
waiting
with
for
you.
her
Your
Nutrisource.
wife has left, but
My wife
Maya,
left, but yeah, I got the dog
Maya's
still. Yeah. Against the spread, Judd, you and I are both 2-3. Declan's 1-4, so none of us are doing particularly bad. Yeah, Declan got his first ATS win last week.
Nice.
So Vikings are 3-point favorites on the road here. I want to know from you guys who wins the game and what's the score margin.
All right, so I'm with you. I don't like the loss of Jefferson. I think is actually going to. It's certainly not going to make the Vikings better, but I think it's going to cause them to be focused. And again, even without Jefferson, I don't think the Vikings are in the bin of the Panthers and Bears. The records might be about the same, but I don't think they're that bad. Could the Vikings fall behind in this game? Absolutely. Could they fumble the ball away? Probably. But I think that they win. I think they win, and I'm going to say, because it's so close, I think they cover the spread.
Okay.
So
a win and a win by at least 3 points for Judd.
So
I say they win, and they cover the spread. 2014 is what I'm looking at here. It's a 3-point spread. The Vikings, who I've had major doubts on most of all season, I feel like I've been the most sour throughout the course of this season of us three, but God, just beat Chicago. I know they're riding high a little bit. Just go in there and beat a really bad defense and stop turning the football over. So they will win, and 20-14 is my prediction.
Wow. Feels like a lot of fans would rather them just lose this game, as we found out about on Feedback Friday.
which is when they win.
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Too, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
Which
we're
is-
not dead.
Which is what's going to happen this weekend for sure. I'm going to thread the needle here a little bit, though, and hedge. So I think they win, but that stat about the last 23 meetings inside Soldier Field being 21 out of 23 are either Bears wins or very, very close, like 3 or less Vikings wins. So I'm going to hedge and say Bears. I'll take the 3. I'll say Bears cover the 3. So if the Vikings lose, Bears cover. If the Vikings win by 1 or 2 points, 3 would be a push. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna thread that needle a little bit here and say Vikings win, but Bears cover. Yeah, I don't know. I think what happens here is they beat the Bears, and then reality sets in. A Justin Jefferson-less game against the Niners, and then 2 road games after playing the Niners, and you wind up at best being 2-2 in this stretch, and then we'll see what happens at the trade deadline.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, look, when you play San Fran with the current construction of the Vikings and the way they're playing, I will be very surprised if they win. But again, I think when you're playing the Panthers and Bears, those teams, I mean, the Vikings can beat those teams on the road.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really that bad.
The Vikings are winless at home. Think about that.
Yeah, they haven't won a game in
It's 0-3, right? 0-3. Yeah.
Well, and all 3 are really bad losses. Like Tampa Bay and the Chargers, you should have won both of those games. And there's a case to be made that you could have won or should have beaten the Chiefs too.
Yeah. And then the Giants home playoff game. So you've lost, 4 straight home games?
Yeah, look at since they were like 8-2 or something, the record has crashed to earth.
Yeah. So, all right, those are the official picks here. It's Purple Daily presented by Quick Trip, and we appreciate all of you who've helped make this one of the most popular football podcasts in the United States. You guys are crazy Vikings fans all over the place. We'll be live for Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel right after Vikings Bears finishes up. The only upset this week is that Kenny Albert's not calling the game. It's some other.
We've lost him.
He doesn't do games.
He's too good. No, he still does games. He's too good for us.
Well, but is he? Oh, he's higher up the chain.
He's higher up the food chain. Yeah.
Okay. So the Vikings have to win some games to get back on the Kenny Albert train. It's the Vikings.
They're not
and the
even
Bears
Chris Myers
from
right
Soldier
now.
Field.
Like if it's not a Chiefs game, a national game, I don't even think they get Chris Myers right now.
I don't think he's even on the roster. Is he on the roster?
I don't even know
Did he get
anymore.
booed from the roster?
He might have got booed.
We said goodbye to Chris Myers. Too many mistakes.
Kenny Albert.
Kenny Albert from
I think
Ford
he's like
Field.
the third. I think he's like the third guy now. You got to get back into the Kenny Albert good graces.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.